Stop scrolling right now. 6 hours ago, President Xi Jinping just published the single most important economic policy statement of 2026. And while you were sleeping, while Western markets were still dark, the Chinese Communist Party's flagship journal, Qiushi, dropped an article that is not economic theory. It is a declaration of war. It is the green light for the financial military parade. This is the Asian guy. It is Tuesday afternoon, February 3rd, 2026. Markets close in less than 2 hours. And what I'm about to show you is not speculation. It is mathematical proof that while the United States was celebrating Monday's silver crash to $83, China activated a vacuum so powerful it is draining Western vaults at a rate that guarantees COMEX default by March. In this article, Xi explicitly orders the People's Bank of China to build a powerful currency to challenge dollar dominance. He calls for accelerated yuan internationalization, but he goes further. He links currency strength directly to national financial security. He is telling the world that the era of dollar hegemony is over, and the era of the gold-backed yuan begins now. This is not a blog post. This is a marching order from the president himself, and the timing proves everything. Why publish this less than 24 hours after U.S. banks smashed silver to $83? Because Beijing knows the West is vulnerable. They know that crash was desperate defense of a dying system. So they are countering with the one weapon America cannot fight, physical metal. And I just spent the last 6 hours tracking the flow. What I found proves the United States just made the greatest strategic blunder since the Maginot Line. Let me show you the mechanism that is destroying the West right now. While everyone was staring at Monday's red candles, the real move was happening in Shanghai. David Jensen, one of the few analysts who tracks actual physical metal movement rather than paper contracts, just published data that should be flashing red on every trading desk in New York and London. He has identified a vacuum, a price gap so massive it is functioning as a one-way conveyor belt moving silver from Western vaults to Chinese reserves permanently. Right now, this second, the price of silver in Shanghai is trading at a 29% premium over London and New York. That is $22.98 per ounce above Western spot price. But when you add China's 13% VAT tax that must be paid on imported silver, the replacement cost inside Chinese borders is 36.22 above the Western price. $36. Now here is the simple math that is ending American financial dominance. How much does it cost to charter an armored cargo plane, insure the shipment, and fly 1 ton of silver from London to Shanghai? Approximately $2 per ounce. Maybe $2.50 for express delivery, so the arbitrage profit is $36 minus $2. That leaves $34 risk-free profit on every single ounce you move from west to east. $34 pure profit per ounce. Do you understand what this means? This is free money. This is an infinite money glitch. If you are a bullion bank, a trading house, a mining company, why would you ever sell silver in New York for 86 cents? You would not. You load it on pallets, you put it on planes, you fly it to Shanghai, you sell it for $120, instant 40% return on a 12-hour flight. There is no better trade on planet Earth right now. And this is the vacuum. This is the giant sucking sound draining the West. Water flows downhill, capital flows to highest return, and silver flows to the highest bidder. Right now, China is the highest bidder by a mile. They are effectively paying a $34 bounty on every ounce of silver in the world. They are saying, bring it to us, drain your vaults, empty your ETFs, we will pay top dollar. And Western banks are taking the bait. They are arbitrageurs. They do not care about national security. They care about quarterly bonuses. So they are draining LBMA vaults in London. They are draining COMEX vaults in New York. They are stripping the West of its strategic industrial stockpile just to capture that $34 spread. And every single day this spread exists, thousands of bars leave the Western ecosystem forever and enter the Chinese system. Once that silver crosses into China, it never comes back. China does not export silver. They are a black hole. Metal goes in, gets consumed by solar panels, missiles, electronics, and the powerful currency Xi just ordered built. It stays there permanently. This is why Monday's paper smash was a catastrophic strategic error. By crashing the US price to $83, they made the arbitrage wider. They made it more profitable to ship metal to China. They effectively put their own strategic inventory on clearance sale for their greatest rival. The US thought they were defending the dollar by painting a scary chart. In reality, they subsidized Chinese accumulation. They are selling the family farm to pay the credit card bill. And the US government knows this. They are not stupid. They can see the planes taking off. They know that if this vacuum continues for another month, there will be zero registered silver left in COMEX vaults. They know they are facing physical default. And that is why panic is setting in Washington, D.C. right now. That is why tomorrow, Wednesday, February 4th, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is holding an emergency summit that looks boring on the surface, but is actually the most desperate diplomatic maneuver of the century. Look at the State Department calendar for tomorrow. Rubio is hosting the inaugural Critical Minerals Ministerial in Washington. He has summoned ambassadors and trade ministers from Europe, Japan, South Korea, Canada, Australia. The official press release says the goal is to strengthen and diversify critical mineral supply chains to ensure economic resilience. Let me translate that diplomatic code for you. It means China is taking everything, help us. They are trying to form a NATO for metals. They are trying to build a blockade, a Pax Silica, to stop the Chinese vacuum from consuming the remaining resources of the Western Alliance. Because they looked at the same data David Jensen analyzed. They see the $34 gap. They know silver is not just a monetary metal anymore. It is the new oil. It is the strategic mineral of the 21st century. You cannot have green energy transition without silver. Solar panels require it. You cannot have AI revolution without silver. High-end chips need silver interconnects. You cannot have modern military without silver. Every Tomahawk missile, every F-35, every satellite uses ounces of this metal. And right now, the United States consumes 5 times more silver than it produces. We are dependent on imports from Mexico, Peru, the global market, and China is currently buying that global market out from under us with a 29% premium backed by Xi's order this morning. Rubio knows that if this continues, if COMEX runs dry by March, as the math suggests, the U.S. military-industrial complex grinds to a halt. Lockheed Martin calls the Pentagon and says we cannot build guidance systems because we cannot source silver paste. That is a national security nightmare. So tomorrow's meeting is not a trade summit, it is a war council. They are going to try to strong-arm allies. They will try to pass agreements restricting export of critical minerals to non-market economies, meaning China. They will try to ban the arbitrage trade. They might float capital controls on strategic metals. You cannot ship silver to Shanghai. It is a matter of national defense. But here is the problem. It is too little, too late. You cannot legislate away laws of economics. You cannot stop water flow with a piece of paper. As long as the price in Shanghai is $36 higher than New York, metal will find a way. Smugglers will move it. Third-party nations will buy from U.S. and resell to China. Black markets will fill the gap. The only way to stop the drain is for Western price to rise. Price in New York has to go up to match Shanghai. The $86 suppression scheme has to end. U.S. has to let silver reach $120 just to keep it inside the country. This meeting tomorrow is an admission of defeat. It is U.S. government admitting the free market they claim to love is currently destroying them because they manipulated the price too low for too long. They suppressed the beach ball underwater. Now it is popping up and hitting them in the face. Rubio is trying to hold it down with executive order. It will not work. And the market knows it will not work. That is why, despite Monday's paper smash, the price already recovered. That is why psychology has not broken. Traders see desperation in D.C. and smell blood. They know when government starts holding emergency meetings about supply chains, it means the cupboard is bare. But the ultimate proof that the United States lost control is not in diplomatic cables or arbitrage math. It is in the price action we are seeing right now. Yesterday, they threw the kitchen sink at the market. They used the Kevin Warsh announcement. They used deflation narrative. They used billions in paper shorts to smash silver to $83. Shock and awe designed to break your spirit, make you capitulate. Usually after a smash like that, market stays down for weeks. Bulls get scared. But look at the screen right now. It is Tuesday afternoon. Markets close in 2 hours. Where is the price? Is it languishing at $83? Is it crashing further? No. Silver ripped back above $86. Gold jumped back above $4,900. The war crash lasted less than 24 hours. They fired their biggest cannon. Market shrugged it off and kept climbing. This is massive psychological signal. It tells us dip buyers are now stronger than paper sellers. It tells us market realized the truth. The crash was fake. Traders looked at Shanghai price, which never crashed by the way, and realized the drop in New York was just a gift. They saw the $34 arbitrage gap and realized silver at $83 was mispriced. So they bought with both hands. This is definition of failed suppression. And in technical analysis, a failed move leads to fast move in opposite direction. When you try to hold beach ball underwater and lose grip, it does not float up gently. It rockets out of water. We are witnessing the rocket phase. The shorts, the entities that sold yesterday hoping to drive price to $70 are now trapped. They sold at the bottom. Price is back to 86. They are underwater. And as price ticks higher to 87, 90, 95, they will be forced to cover. Forced to become buyers. This is fuel for the short squeeze. The war shock was supposed to kill the bull market. Instead, it confirmed it. It proved that even with entire weight of U.S. government and banking cartel pushing down, they cannot keep silver below $85 for more than one day. That is a hard floor, concrete. And if $85 is the floor, the ceiling is infinity. Think about the physical reality supporting this bounce. While paper price violently fluctuated, the physical market in Shanghai kept grinding higher. Chinese did not care about Kevin Warsh. They do not watch CNBC. They care about volume, and volume on Shanghai Gold Exchange is exploding. They are draining the world of metal. Western price must rise to catch up. The arbitrage vacuum guarantees it. Unless silver in New York goes to $120, metal keeps leaving. So price rise is not speculation. It is necessity. It is the only way to stop the bleeding. U.S. banks will eventually have to go long. They will have to let price run just to save COMEX from defaulting. The attempt to save the dollar backfired spectacularly. They tried to make dollar look strong by smashing gold. Gold bounced. Now dollar looks weaker than ever because it could not knock metal down for even one full trading session. Emperor has no clothes. Fed has no bullets. Cartel has no silver. But here's where Xi's article this morning changes everything, because while the West is playing defense, scrambling to hold emergency summits and stop the bleeding, China is playing offense. And the next move is the checkmate that ends the game. Intelligence reports flooding in suggest this Qiushi article is precursor to massive announcement. We are hearing credible rumors from deep within Shanghai Financial District that China is preparing to officially update its gold reserve numbers. For years, official number has been a joke. They report adding maybe 27 tons per month. But we track the flow. We track imports through Hong Kong. We track mine production. Real number is likely 10 times higher. They have been hiding thousands of tons of gold in off-balance sheet accounts under state administration of foreign exchange and the military. They accumulated in shadows, waiting for perfect moment to reveal their hand. And that moment is now. Imagine the scene. U.S. markets are in chaos. Debt is $38 trillion. Confidence is shaken. Tomorrow, Rubio holds emergency meeting admitting we are losing the resource war. And suddenly, China holds press conference. They do not roll out tanks. They do not launch missiles. They simply update a spreadsheet. They announce that instead of 2,000 tons of gold, they actually hold 30,000 tons. They announce the yuan is now backed by more physical metal than any currency in history. What happens to U.S. dollar in that second? It collapses. What happens to price of gold? It teleports, goes from $4,900 to $10,000 overnight. Because market suddenly realizes price was being suppressed by bankrupt entity, the U.S., while value was being hoarded by solvent one, China. This is the financial military parade. Just like when they roll hypersonic missiles down Tiananmen Square to show the world their power, this gold reveal is designed to show the world their financial sovereignty. It is warning shot to Washington. You can smash paper price all you want. We have the physical metal. Checkmate. And the craziest part? U.S. accidentally helped them do it. By smashing price yesterday, by creating that fake crash to $83, U.S. banks made gold and silver cheaper for China to buy. They put strategic assets on clearance sale right before the reveal. China is laughing all the way to the vault. They are taking every ounce of silver flowing out of London and New York. And they are using it to build foundation of this new powerful currency Xi ordered this morning. Do not be distracted by the noise. Monday's paper smash was smoke grenade. Real army is moving in background. While US plays checkers with derivatives, China plays Go with bullion. Let me show you the migration happening right now. We are witnessing great migration of physical capital. Fleet of armored trucks leaving warehouses in New York and London, driving to airports, loading pallets of 1,000-ounce bars onto cargo planes bound for the east. These bars are leaving Western ecosystem forever. They leave LBMA, London Bullion Market Association, heart of Western Fractional Reserve System, and enter SGE, Shanghai Gold Exchange, which is physical-only fortress. Once a bar enters SGE, it is melted down, assayed, restamped with Chinese characters. It is dematerialized from Western ledger, can never be rehypothecated to New York futures contract. It is gone. This is the tragedy. United States is currently selling its insurance policy to its greatest geopolitical rival for pennies on dollar. Silver is insurance against currency collapse, insurance against war, raw material for future economy. And we are shipping it to Beijing because computer algorithm in Chicago thinks price should be lower. We are literally arming our opponent because we are obsessed with painting pretty chart for S&P 500. Volume of this migration is terrifying. Usually silver moves slowly, sits in vault for 30 years gathering dust, but right now velocity of metal has exploded. Refineries in Switzerland working 24/7, not to refine new mining supply. Mines are tapped out. They are refining good delivery bars from West, taking old American bars, ones stamped United States Assay Office, melting them down, turning them into kilo bars for Chinese market. We are erasing our own history, sending raw material to build China's future. And you know who is facilitating this? The bullion banks, JP Morgan, HSBC. They are chartering the planes. They are the middlemen in this story. They are just following profit motive. If spread is $34, they have fiduciary duty to shareholders to capture it. They do not care about national security. They will drain last ounce from New York Vault if it makes them profit. They will sell copper wiring out of walls of Empire State Building if arbitrage is wide enough. And right now, it is. So when you see price dip on your screen, do not see it as loss of value. See it for what it really is. Liquidation event. West is liquidating inventory. East is accumulating. Vacuum is sucking the room dry. Nature abhors vacuum. Eventually pressure must equalize. Eventually vaults in New York hit zero. And when that happens, when last bar loaded onto last plane to Shanghai, game of musical chairs ends. Music stops. United States realizes it does not have a chair, does not have the metal. Then Rubio's critical mineral summit will not matter because you cannot regulate what you do not have. Markets close in less than 2 hours. Tomorrow Rubio holds his emergency war council. And any day now, possibly this week, China announces the gold reveal that ends dollar hegemony. The board is set for checkmate. All that is left is for you to decide where you want to be when the announcement hits. Do you want to be holding paper dollars losing a geopolitical war? Or do you want to be holding the asset China is buying to replace them? Here is the verdict. We connected the dots. We saw Xi's signal this morning calling for powerful currency. We saw the $34 vacuum draining the West at record speed. We saw panic in Washington as Rubio scrambles to build NATO for metals tomorrow. We saw recovery of price back above $86, proving market psychology is unbreakable. Conclusion is simple and terrifying for anyone holding US dollars. United States played its final card yesterday. They used war narrative and massive paper dump to try breaking silver market. They wanted to scare you, crush price, save the dollar. All they accomplished was putting world's most strategic asset on clearance sale for their enemies. US smashed paper price. China said thank you, backed up the truck, bought the physical dip. Now vaults in New York and London emptying at record speed. River of silver flowing east, never coming back. U.S. State Department holding emergency meetings because they know what comes next. They know by March, if flow continues, COMEX will be hollow shell. They know Pax Silica, American dominance of technology supply chain, is dead. This means price of silver in West has only 2 places to go. Option 1 goes to 0 because there is no metal left to trade. Option 2 goes to $120 to match Shanghai price. The $34 gap is law of nature. It must close. It will not close by Shanghai coming down. It closes by New York going up. Suppression failed. Dam is breaking. This is your second chance. Yesterday's crash gave you brief window to buy silver at discount subsidized by stupidity of central planners. Do not waste it. Do not let volatility shake you out. Squeeze is not over. It is just beginning. Financial military parade is about to start. You want to be holding the asset sitting on the lead float. Markets close in 90 minutes. Xi gave the order this morning. Rubio holds emergency summit tomorrow. The vacuum is draining Western vaults right now. Ignore the paper. Trust the flow. East is buying. West is panicking. Price is rising. The squeeze is alive. This is the Asian guy. Checkmate. Stack the metal.